The reappearance of blogger and tech expert Ndiangui Kinyagia on that July 2025 following his reported abduction has raised serious questions across Kenya, while the National Police Service and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations maintained that he was never in their custody and that he went into hiding voluntarily. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance and sudden return suggest otherwise. The official narrative claiming Ndiangui staged his own vanishing act simply doesn't hold water. It smells strongly of a clumsy cover up, something that many other Kenyans agree with on this. Why do I believe this? Let's begin. First, his physical and emotional state speaks volumes. First, Ndiangui's traumatized appearance upon re-emerging tells its own story. Videos circulating on social media show a visibly shaken man, um, hollow-eyed and with an unsteady voice. This is hardly the image of someone who orchestrated a self-imposed hideout. Otherwise, one user on the app X, formerly Twitter, said, "Look at Ndiangui's face. Trauma doesn't lie. This wasn't a stunt." Hashtag Ndiangui abduction, capturing the widespread belief that his condition points to genuine distress, not fabrication. Another thing that doesn't up is the telltale haircut. Secondly, is freshly buzz cut mirrors the appearance of other abduction victims in Kenya, particularly those targeted during the 2024 anti-government protests. Someone said at Ndiangui 254 noted, Ndiangui's new haircut, just like other abductees. Coincidence? Think about it. Hashtag DCI exposed. This small but telling detail fuels suspicion of state involvement, particularly when coupled with reports from neighbors who claimed masked men whisked him away from their house. Another thing that has also stood out in this is the convenient timing of his return. While the timing of his return reappearance is deeply suspect, Ndiangui returned just days after a judge summoned DCI Chief Mohammed Amin on July 1st, 2025 to explain his whereabouts. And someone remarked, Ndiangui pops up the moment the judge calls out the DCI. Too convenient, hashtag judicial pressure, suggesting that the reappearance was not voluntarily but a decision, rather a strategic move to ease judicial scrutiny. Another sign is that the suspicious circumstances of his disappearance. Well, the idea of self-hiding collapses under the weight of eyewitness accounts. Neighbors reported seeing at least 10 cars stationed outside Ndiangui's residence on 21st June 2025, the day he vanished. Somebody remarked, as 10 cars, no one organizes that kind of security detail for a self disappearance. Hashtag abduction cover up. Another thing that has also stood out in this is that Ndiangui himself shared photographic evidence claiming abduction by the DCI, a detail reported by tech activist KE, where he commented, posting a distress message is not the move of someone faking it. Ndiangui was tweeted out. Hashtag Ndiangui truth. Another thing that also was also amiss is that the DCI's shifting story, which raises red flags. The DCI's inconsistency statements have only deepened public suspicion. Initially denying any involvement, they later faced judicial scrutiny when evidence contradicted their claims. At Constitution Watch observed, one, the DCI's flopping screams cover up. Self-hiding doesn't explain this mess. Hashtag DCI accountability. Such contradictions point towards an official narrative in this array. Another thing that also stood out is that tech norm how undermines in quotes hiding theory. Additional voices on the socials have poked holes in the self-hiding argument. At Youth Voice KE highlighted Yamui's tech expertise, suggesting he could have easily remained hidden if that were his goal. His return feels forced. Hashtag state pressure. Others, including at Human Rights KE, questioned the speed of his court appearance and the lack of independent verification implying possible manipulation. Another thing is that the missing trail. As at political analyst KE pointed out, no trace of Ndiangui's movements during his supposed hiding, odd for someone staging a vanishing act, hashtag DCI involvement. The logistical silence surrounding his time missing adds yet another layer of suspicion. When pieced together, the self-hiding narrative defies logic. A traumatized man bearing visible marks of abduction reappearing under judicial pressure, with witnesses reporting a large-scale operation and his own photographic evidence contradicting official claims. None of this aligns with the idea of a voluntary disappearance. The DCI's inconsistent statements only deepen public distrust. So the $1 million question remains: is the self hiding narrative still convincing in light of these facts? Please keep the conversation going in the comment section below.